in a way, consistent as well, because certainly favoritism will start to be noticed by other staff, other employees, other middle and high senior management. So, yeah, of course, you help each other out, but you have to also be consistent across the board. Some people will, let's say, use the example of shift swaps. Some will put more through than others, but when you do get a person that you don't necessarily get from, yeah, you can't turn a blind eye and say, well, no, for you, I'm going to apply all the conditions, when for other people I've turned a few corners.
So in your opinion, how do you define, it's a very fine line between helping someone that have helped you and helped the operation, and this being perceived as favoritism. So how do you think people or first line managers should be defining that line and basically trying to help people out, but not to show that they are favoring others?
Well, just by being constant, it's you give a little, you take a little. You know, I can speak for myself, where if I've made some arrangements with a person, I know that in turn they'll help me out when I need. Or if they help me out, I know that I will have to help them out when their call of need comes.
And would that be called favoritism, you reckon?
No, I don't think it's called favoritism, because that I can justify if it ever gets questioned by another employee or by middle or higher management.
Yeah.
It's, as I said, it's at our discretion, but it's choices that I'm making that I can justify. It's not.
So as long as you justify, you believe it's not. As long as the transaction is justified, then this is, and from your perspective, this is not favoritism.
No, that's right. As long as eventually the ledger balances out,
yeah,
I think it's fine.
Yeah. Having to do shift work may compromise some of your social life out of work. And for yourself, you've done shift work for probably 8 years now. A lot of people tend to build social exchange at the workplace to fulfill work needs, whether to progress further, whether they to get help, whether they probably want to be trained on other airline, whatever the reason is, move up the ladder, or to fulfill personal needs, such as finding friends, replacing what they've lost of social life out of work, and trying to find that balance at work. What can you tell me about your experience with social exchange within the NATA?
Well, from personal experience, I've started working for the NATA because two of my mates were working there.
Yeah.
Having started there, then our group grew from people within the company, because all of a sudden you work in shift work, you don't get to see the other guys that all, let's say 9 to 5, have weekends off. Our weekends might be a Tuesday and a Wednesday. So you end up hanging with the same people that you work with. That's natural. When you spend so much time at work, you tend to build those relationships. And certainly with my wife, we've known each other outside of work, but when she started working with us, that's when we started hanging out more, and that's where we developed a relationship. So it's very much you get pulled into this shift work cycle that you develop friendships, you develop relationships, you find friends, you find common practices, common activities that you can do that are not necessarily convenient by a 9 to 5 kind of person, but somebody that's not shift work.
Yeah. As you are aware, the company went through transformation 4 times in the last 4 years. Many changes to the team dynamics, which may change social exchanges and relationships between different parties. Some people felt threatened, and this probably changed their behavior, changed their alliances with others at the workplace. So it's dynamic. Transformation makes it more dynamic, makes it change more. during the transformation event, what can you tell me about your social exchange with other employees? Did you experience any change in the nature of your exchange with them? For example, because you are considered as part of the leadership team, were the people that you used to help them and they used to help you, do you guys get closer? Because they probably relate to you more during that time and they depend on you on maybe helping them to secure their jobs? Or did you probably fall apart where they felt, okay, he's part of the leadership team and now we have a problem and he can't help us because we've helped him before and now he can't help us, so sort of moved away from you? Did you experience anything in that nature, or did you notice anything?
No, I don't think so, because from within our company, all of the decisions are more or less out of our hands. We don't get to really make any drastic decisions, even from senior management at a local level. Basically, head office will tell you X, Y, Z need to go because of redundancies or because of whatever other issues or changes are happening. And staff know that. They know that we can, let's say, give the best reference for somebody, but it won't come down to a decision. It's out of our hands, and the staff know that. So I don't think they changed their perception towards us as frontline managers, but certainly towards the company's head office. That's where the changes would come.
Did you feel that the people that you've helped out in one stage, they probably, because they felt so fragile and so weak during that time, they stopped helping because they didn't think that there is any, because it's a lost cause sort of a thing? Did you experience any of that?
Yeah, there is probably an aspect where, suddenly people will drop their standards, because if they know that something drastic is going to happen to them, just like we spoke about earlier with the sick leave.
Mm-hmm.
If they know that it is a lost cause and there's nothing they can do about it, yeah, they will stop putting in the effort. It's they just drop their guard because they know they've been affected.
Yeah.
And they know that there's nothing that I can do, that you can do, that anyone can do to help that. So then they just go on a solo journey where they just do what they think is right for themselves.
Yeah.
And wait for the day to come as such.
Yeah. Can you describe your social exchange with first line managers, supervisors, duty managers, people that are same level as you during the transformation? Obviously there was some period where everyone was trying to secure a position. Was there some sort of competition going on? What was happening there? Was there any people challenging each other to secure a position in some way or forms? Or did people probably bond more because they are feeling that they sharing the same challenge and share the same problem? How can you describe that?
Well, I can only refer to this in the sense of, let's say, with the relief duty managers that Kevin and I are doing now, with the two girls that are on maternity leave. Yeah, they're due to come back at some stage. There's no longer supervisors. There's only X amount of duty managers that are needed.
Yeah.
So it's a question that you ask yourself, and then you speak amongst yourselves as to what's happening, where we're going. Communication is very, very open between us.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, because of everyone's situation, our real life situation, we kind of know, but we can only guess of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Different outcomes. Mums returning to work more often than not can't come back into full-time positions.
Yeah.
Which is what the positions are. So in a way, yeah, it gets discussed and everyone has their input, but whether it becomes more challenging or not.